channel. Today I'm going to talk about fully modify ordinary least square. So what we need to do is that we just need to load our data into Gretl, and I believe this one has been captured in our previous videos. So the next step we need to take is that once the data has been loaded into Gretl, you have your constant, you have the variables, which is DDP, which we have export, which we have import. What we need to do next is that we just need to go to model, and then you go here, unit variety time series, and you need to click on this one. So here, the assumption is that your variables need to be integrated at order 1. That is why it is stating here that fully modify ordinary least square estimation with I1 series. I1 series means that when you take a first difference of the variable that you're dealing with, it needs to be stationary once you take the first difference. It doesn't need to go beyond first difference. So for me, the assumption is that my variables are integrated at first order, because this is just a tutorial video for you to understand. Okay, let me just click on, let me close it. Let me just try one unit root test for you to see something here. This is the variable GDP. So I will just click on this, which is, I've selected this one, click on variable, and then go to unit root. So I'll use the augmented decay filler test. Then click on, let's say, lag 3, or we can use lag 1, depending on when you do the lag selection test, which will show you the optimum lag you're supposed to use. We have already covered this in our previous videos, so you can just go back and then check them. So once you have this one, you can choose to take this one, show regression results, but you can also leave it this way. So let's click on OK and see what happens. So I click on OK. So you can see that the variable here has a unit root because this is the p-value. It is greater than 5%. As we've already indicated that any p-value greater than 5% indicated that there's a unit root present, and any p-value greater than 5% shows that there is a unit root. Any p-value lower than 5% shows that there is no unit root. So here we can see that there is a unit root present in GDP. What we need to do now is, maybe let's try to add first difference here. So okay, let me convert this one into log. So what I'm selecting here is that log first difference of GDP. So I'm converting GDP into log, at the same time taking the first difference of it. So this is what I'm going to do, and this is the log of this, the values that I've converted. So, or either ways, we can just delete this one as well. Delete it. Yes, we want to delete this. I will select this one, go to add, and then go to go to log. So we've done this. You can see it. So what I need to do now is that I can now add the first difference. This is this one. I'll add the first difference. Is the same step you can see here. So the next step is that I select this one, go to variables, then click on unit root, and also using the same thing, which is the lag 1, click on OK. So you can see here at a 5% significance level, you can see that GDP has no unit root, and then you can see this is the variant with constant, and here this is with constant and trend. So it depends on what you're going to use or which one you go for. After this, I can close this one. So in order not to make this video really long, the assumption is that all your variables need to be integrated at first order. First order. It doesn't have to go beyond the first order. Once you meet all these requirements, then you can go ahead and estimate the fully modified ordinary least squares in Gretl, because it is giving you an indication that variables with I1, this is I1 series. So let's go back to model, go to here, select this one, and here we are going to select our variables here. So let's go here now. Okay, cancel. We can select from here. We are using GDP. Then the independent explanatory variables, which is the independent variables. You can come here, click, select export, and then select import, because these are our independent variable. So you click on OK, then this becomes your X. The X represent, which is the it represents the independent variable or the regressors. So after this, let's click on OK. Let's leave everything at default now and click on OK. So click on OK, and you can see this has been estimated. So now you can see here that only one variable is significant here from the fully modified model we've estimated, and it follows the same principle of explaining it in the statistical sense. So you can see it has S import has a positive coefficient, export also has a positive coefficient, but import is not significant because the p-value is greater than 5%, which is maybe the critical value that we are looking at. And sometimes it can also go up to 10%. But in this case, import is not significant, so we would choose not to interpret anything about it. But suppose it is significant, then we can say that an increase in import also leads to an increase in GDP. Maybe somebody can use GDP as a proxy for economic growth. And this in the same sense, when you take export, look at export here. The p-value is significant. So the coefficient is also 3.160 or 3.161. So the assumption is that an increase in export leads to an increase in GDP because the p-value is positive, which means that when export increases, GDP also increases. So that is the interpretation for what we've estimated here. This is just giving you the information about the criterions which is part of the model that we've estimated. You can see Akaki criterion, you can see Akaki criterion again corrected. So this is when you estimate it, try to correct it again. So it gives you the Akaki information criterion, and also it gives you the corrected one. So this is the estimation of the fully modified ordinary least squares in Gretl. You can try hand at home and make sure you practice, not to just watch the video. Thank you for your time.